There is a level of growth you reach where, when you don't even realize it, your presence begins to intimidate people around you. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your clarity, your sense of peace, your confidence have evolved to a place that can become uncomfortable for some people, especially if they are not as sure of themselves or not where they want to be. The challenge for you, if you're like me, then becomes this: how do you communicate with power, but without shrinking, or without softening, or without dimming yourself just to make others feel comfortable? And probably more importantly, how do you speak so that people can feel you? Your intentions, your sincerity, your truth, and not just your words. That's what we're talking about today. The moment you level up, and when I say that, I mean in any way. People take it often to mean financially. It can mean financially. I think it's wonderful when it does, but there are so many ways to improve yourself. I'm thinking spiritually right now. What also comes to mind is emotionally, your ability to self regulate and find happiness in a world full of chaos, or where others would want you to be unsettled and unhappy, maybe sometimes because they are. But when you level up professionally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever it is, something shifts. You become more sure of yourself, you become more intentional. You become more grounded. You become more emotionally regulated. You become more successful. You become more happy. You become more unavailable for chaos. And people who are not grounded in themselves will interpret your calm as dominance. They will sometimes interpret your clarity as confusion. And this is a big one. They will often interpret your boundaries as an attitude. It is almost Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week, in fact. And I don't know when you're watching this video, but I know somebody's going to be able to feel it because they're getting ready to see their family, their people, and understand exactly what I mean. People who are not grounded will experience your boundaries, your successes as threats to them. And I have news for you that took me years to figure out. None of that is your problem to fix. Your only responsibility is to communicate in a way and from a place that is clear and steady and aligned and considerate and emotionally intelligent. That's it. When you speak from that place, you are not intimidating, you are impactful. And I find that people, the right people, like, there are a lot of things we can't do many things about, but the right people become magnetized and irresistibly attracted to you when you are your authentic self in a way that is not intended to be haughty or put anyone down, make anyone feel small. People don't just hear you, but they start to feel the weight and truth of whatever it is you're saying. From my experience in communication courses, teaching healthcare professionals how to elevate their careers by using language with patients, with each other, others, with administrators, I have learned that people respond to communication that focuses more on energy than it does volume. And so I want to put that into practice for you here. I think that people often feel you, understand your intentions because your energy is grounded and coherent. And there are three elements to that I want to share with you. The first is what I call calm authority. Calm is powerful. Calm is not weak. What calm says is, I know who I am. I am unmoved by chaos. When you're calm, your tone becomes the stabilizing force in the room. Calm authority. The second is intentional pace. Now, it just so happens that I'm from the South and some of us speak more slowly than others, but I find that when you slow down, when you don't rush your words or allow others to rush your words, you don't dilute your own impact, nor do you allow others to do that. Pausing affords you the opportunity to slow down and make sure that you're understood and to allow your thoughts and mouth to align with each other. When you pause, you allow breath between your thoughts, and people can also hang on to your message and process your message. The third is emotional alignment. I think that this is probably the easiest to understand and the most difficult to really put into practice. When your words match your tone and your intention, people can feel the authenticity behind them. Most people are more intelligent than we give them credit for, and they can tell the differences. There are no performances, there are no theatrics, just the truth that is spoken with clarity. This is the difference between talking at people and talking to people. Now, how to influence and lead others without shrinking has been a personal challenge of mine for years. I'm going to share what I do in order to get beyond those challenges when I am interacting with others. It is so easy to shrink yourself when you sense that some people are uncomfortable with your presence, with your growth, with your position, with your whatever it is. So you have to avoid that at all costs. Doing it is not always easy. Shrinking helps no one. Let me start by affirming this for someone who needs to hear it. Okay, it helps no one, not you, and certainly not the person who needs your leadership, your voice, your vision, your thoughts, your presence, your energy. And okay, so here's how I do this. The first thing I do is I make myself own my space. And so it doesn't matter where I am. I can be in a meeting, I could be at work, I can be talking to loved ones. I own the space with my posture, with my breathing, and with my energy. You can do it too. You don't have to dominate a room, just don't abandon your presence. Okay, so most communication is nonverbal, and I think it starts there. There is a scientific truth here I've read somewhere about your posture speaks to how you feel. When you're feeling inadequate or like you can't do something, even just standing in the Superman kind of superhero posture can give you the confidence that you need. You have your own posture, right? So I don't stand like Superman or any of my favorite Marvel characters, but I do find that when I stand tall, make sure that my spine is nice and tall, my back is nice and erect. I can own my space. There's something that comes with posture. I call that kind of owning your presence. The second is to speak with purpose and not apology. But this is how you do this when you are speaking with great intention, and it is easy to make kind of be kind of off-putting otherwise. You don't need to add sorry, but, or this might sound dumb, or I'm not trying to be rude. It comes across much more kind when you are direct with someone. Hey, listen, Sheila, Jack, James, let's talk about this issue. What I need you to do is, instead of referring to me as though I'm not here, try talking to me, because, I can respect that and hear you, not feel as though you are trying to be petty, right? It's a lot easier. It's a lot more well received when you tell people your feedback or your thoughts directly than it is to say, oh, well, I know we got to talk about something that's hard, or this might be uncomfortable, or I know this might sound dumb to you, but and all that fluff actually dilutes your message a lot. Stop softening your intelligence is the message I want you to take here. You can be warm and direct at the same time. And then the third is to use grounded statements. And when I say that, I mean things like, this is how I see this situation. This is how I feel when you speak to me that way. Or what I try to lean on a lot is, this is what I need in order to make myself comfortable participating in this activity. Or I'm uncomfortable having this discussion. I don't think that about our aunt, or I think she should be here in order to defend herself or to speak to her part in whatever it is we're talking. Or at work, this is what I need. I use a lot of I statements, and so I'm not trying to project my feelings onto other people. I'm owning my truth. I'm standing in my truth. Notice how none of these examples raise tension. They lower it, and that's leadership in action. Let's slow down for a moment. This is important. I want to make sure I understand this. Or let's approach this with calm. Or one of my favorite questions to ask is, what does that mean? I hope this quick message spoke to you, and if it did, then you might be ready to join our Violet Vision community. If this message resonated and you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. And remember that quiet confidence is not intimidation.